I think it's the greatest ad of all time, or at least close. I'd like to buy the world a Coke. One of the best things about this ad is how it uses music to speak to its audience. Music can really help your audience feel understood. When that music reflects the same emotions and the same uh, worldview, that has a super powerful effect. And this commercial is just, you know, miles ahead of most advertisements in that department. Its audience is young people, more specifically young white women. And so what's the first thing that Coke is going to need to do? They're going to need to get the attention of young white women. How do you do that? You get them to look in a mirror.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves.
At the very beginning of the advertisement, we're looking at this woman singing. She's a beautiful young woman. That captures our attention. Whether we're male or female, we see that beauty. And right away, it's the singing. It's not like there's no time that passes by for Coke to set the stage and say, this is kind of what we're doing here. No, it's like the first thing you hear. Before it's about anything else, it's about the music. And the lyrics are so vivid and they're figurative. So they capture us mentally right away. So it's really clear they're after young women in the 60s, or young women in the year 1971. That's their target audience with this commercial. So what do? Do they play some music that's like Beatles-esque or Beach Boys-esque? You know, is it Janis Joplin? Like, what kind of style are they going to go for? So much good popular music in that decade. It's kind of an embarrassment of riches, right? Well, actually, you don't want to do that. You don't want to just go with the music that your target audience likes. Just in general. I mean, you don't want to make really specific rules. But case in point, if you look at AT&T's latest commercials, they close out the commercial to have like a little bit of like a funny setup, right? And then they conclude it with the AT&T tag and then trap music. I don't know, maybe they want to appeal to younger people, or maybe they just want to seem hip to the general audience, but that's just a great way of making trap music not cool anymore. So you want to appeal to young women in the 60s, early 70s, and you need to do it in such a way that helps them feel understood but not pandered to. That's a really difficult needle to thread. And that's what Coke does so brilliantly in this ad. So just listen to a little bit of the music, and then we can talk about how it really shows a deep understanding of the mindset of their target audience.
It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing.
So if you're a young woman in the 60s, your daily life is filled with people who don't share your worldview. You know, at home, it's your parents. At school, it's your teachers. If you have the pleasure of going to a concert with your friends, that is a whole different story. Here, you know, nobody's telling you to go to college, become a company man, start a family. This is a place where you're just with everybody that shares your understanding of the world. This is a place where you feel really united with humanity. And what do you hear at that event? Well, you hear the popular music of the day, right? Not exactly. You hear all the popular music, right? You hear the music that you and your friends love, and you hear a huge chorus of people singing. That's the concert experience. That's what people love, right? The music, the band can have an off night, and you will still love that event. And you still love that event because you're surrounded with all the other fans that love this band as much as you do. And that community spirit has a really powerful effect on people, and it helps you to just enjoy the music on such a deeper level and assign way more meaning to it. Well, that's just what Coke has done, right? The instrumentation's actually pretty sparse in this. There's like bass and a little bit of percussion, stuff like that. The center stage is really the group singing, and the video shows 500 people. I don't know how many people are on the record, but the video shows 500 people on that hilltop. That's the experience they're recreating, is that concert experience. You can even see it in the way the crowd is formed, right? If that crowd gathered organically at that hilltop, it'd be in a circle, or like a kind of like a formless kind of grouping, right? But you can actually see how the crowd fans out from the intro, or fans out from that point of origin, as though they're at a venue looking in on a concert. So that's the whole vibe that just really speaks to their target audience. I might like a band today and then not like them tomorrow, or maybe I like one song, or maybe I like one country song and I don't really like country, right? Or maybe I like one rap song and I don't really like rap. That's just the way we hear music. So if you just compartmentalize people and just throw at them music that you think demographically they're more likely to appeal, you're just appealing to them on a surface level. You're not really getting to the heart of who they are and what motivates them. Coke did this in such a way where they showed a really deep understanding of who they were after. They understood their values. They understood what they felt their purpose was in life, and Coke spoke to that. It's in a really beautiful way. And that commercial, you talk to somebody, maybe they're in their 70s now, and they will remember that commercial. How many commercials do you remember from decades ago? But they'll remember that commercial because that commercial spoke to people on a way deeper level than the other advertisements of the time. So that's the lesson, for us. If we want to put music, we're looking to put a soundtrack to something, we need to find a way of speaking to people's values, speaking to the things that they really care about. People aren't what they like. People are what they love. People are we're at this point too where we have so much media and so many messages coming at us our way. If something doesn't truly strike a deeper chord with us, our minds will just lose track of that. Pepsi the whole time throughout those decades was campaigning with the Pepsi generation. Multiple ads over decades, and Coke basically undermined that with one spot. Brilliant.